Okay, yeah, buggers. It's the day of reckoning. So what I have done, I have cut or sawn out the end, so the block has got some nice exit points to slide in and out. I'm just going to show you the entire contraption on the table. Oh yeah, yeah. You just make sure that there's nothing to catch. So here's a block that'll smoothly run that way. I've gone in with a sharp chisel and just taken off all any excess polyurethane that might have crept up there, so that's nice and free running. What I'm also going to do, I've got some ultra cheap furniture polish, which is it's a wax based polish, so I'm just going to spray that in there. Just get a bit of a wipe with a rag. That'll just help it with the friction. Not that there's going to be any. It's pretty smooth running anyway. So that is the cradle. That's got the holes down the side with the markings of for the radius blocks. Here's one side. This is the other side. Just put that there. And this is this side. It's going to clamp to the table. So that's that side. So basically what we're talking about is that's I'm going to try and do this. How am I going to do it? So you can see it just means this is going to rock on that axis. So this is where it all falls over and I break it off. So right, I'm going to dismantle that. So let's start putting it together. Just close this table up, get rid of some of this junk. So a 12-inch hole, which is the third one from the bottom. I mean, you can always mark these up with a Sharpie. At the minute I've got a piece of paper telling me what it is. It's good enough. And that has to marry up to the same hole on the cradle side. Now with a bit of experience I'll probably find a good way to put this together. Without breaking it. And this is the bit I hadn't really put much thought into, is how I'm gonna put it together. Just got a wing nut on there. Yeah, obviously you can't see me putting a wing nut on there. Can you hear me putting a wing nut on there? Okay. Okay, one of the difficult things this is going to be, I'm going to just move this out of the way again for a second. Rest that precariously there. Difficult thing is going to make sure we are actually going to be centre of the blade. Now I'm not too sure how this circular saw works, whether the pivot point or the axle for the blade rises perfectly vertical as you're lifting it up. I mean, it certainly looks like it is, so I could figure out where the centre is based on that. Now I could take the knife off and measure the extremes where the teeth are and find a centre from that. I could very carefully switch the saw on like this, and we have to do this. Okay. Now a lot of people have been asking me. Sorry, let me just put my mic back on. A lot of people have been asking me about, talking about like shop safety. Well, is this dangerous? Yeah, I'm using a power tool. Is the idea of sliding a block of wood across the saw a bad idea? No, it's not. It's been done for years. That's how a lot of people use circular saws to create wood mouldings, and you can go at an angle. And depending on the angle, you know, if you go straight across, you'll get a circular cut in a block of wood, or if you go in at an angle, you'll get like a slightly different curve. So that gives you a different kind of shape moulding, and it's all. There are videos about that. I'm not going to explain it because I don't do it. I have no need for that kind of moulding. Now, yeah. Shop safety. Always have safety equipment with you. So I've got a helmet. I have some protective gloves. See, so be perfectly safe. And you know, you always have to. Oh, let's get these on. Yeah, so there we go. Rubber gloves and eye protection. Always have decent eye protection. So we're safe. We're safe. Yeah. Back to the dangerous stuff. Yeah, so I can make some marks on this circular saw. With a pencil! So that's given me something I can measure, you see. Now all I need is something to use to measure with. Hold on. Okay, so let's just see. I hate these things. You know, have inches on one side and centimetres on the other. Okay. Well, my random markings of pencil measures out 4 inches between those two points there. So if I go 2 inches, just there on the blade, that hopefully gives me a centre line. Tell you what, I'm not going to trust that angle. So let's deck the blade. Right, put the fence back on and go off this way. Oh, that's all right. That's all nice and straight. So that's my centre line. I've kind of screwed up a bit because I've already put this together. I mean, there's just the way it is at the minute. There's no real way to put it together bit by bit on the saw. You have to put it together in one piece, then drop it in. But I've got something to measure with. Let's see what I can do. So I'm just moving the square either side of these lines. Give me something I can see when I put the rig on. Oops. Yeah, so I've just put some lines on either side of the centre line, just so I can see. So just so I've got something to see when I actually put the rig over the top. Gotta find a way to stop this thing popping out. Hold on. Try and be a bit professional about this. Right. So I can now see yeah, that's good. I can see more or less where the centre of the blade will be. Now I just need to clamp these down. Hang on. Right, time for a bit of action. I've put some blocks underneath just to steady this up a bit. And now I'm going to switch on the saw and see where the hole starts to appear. Bam, ba bam, bam, bam. Right there in the centre. Okay, so that's appeared right up in the centre now. So the blade's now poking up about 2 millimeters. I am going to attempt my first cut, just as it is at the minute. I'll pick a side. Okay, so there you can see we have, at this moment in time, a 6-inch radius cut. Okay, now we want to convert that into a 12-inch radius cut. Before I do that, I'm just going to run through the other block on the cut, which is there. So I've cut some of this. So I've cut some of this material up into a couple of lengths. One is a 12-inch length, and this will do an 8-inch and a 4-inch or 6-inch out of it. So we'll have 3 blocks. Now, someone was saying, oh well, what a lot of effort, I'll just go to Stu Mac and buy some. Yeah, okay, do that. You won't get 3 blocks. So I'm going to get 3 blocks, and of any size I want. Okay, I'm going to cut this one up. Now there is one bit that slightly concerns me over on this side, because we have the knife that might get in the way when we start to rock. So it's time to rock. Okay, so that's very, very annoying because yes, it looks like I do need to replace the knife. Now to replace the knife, I'm going to have to de-rig the whole thing. Because I can't get this off with this in the way. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so I got the knife off and got it all back in place again. Getting the knife off was an absolute freaking pain in the ass. So if you do attempt something like that, probably a good idea to remove the knife first. On to finishing off. And I will show you how I cock that up right now. Something went wrong with my calculations. It's actually taken a big chunk off the side. Now, actually, I should have spotted this really, because the idea was, where's my pencil, that there'll be like a 5mm, so like bit either side of the block that I'll be able to run down, and it will stay flat. But it's cut into that. Well, I should have spotted that really, because the blades are cutting like 3mm into the up into the side. So it's obviously going to be cutting cutting too much off. So I need to adjust the height of the blade. I'm cutting too high. So what I want to do, it should still work. Should still work. This is all a bit of a trial and error. Well, it wasn't, was it? It was a damn good bit of planning, and half a dozen screw-ups along the way. So I've just done a pencil line of like 3 or 4 millimeters in. I'm going to lower the blade and try and come back and see where it stops. Okay, well this time we have success. I've screwed at the top of this block. It's not going to look pretty. I can always chop up some more, try again. It's only a bit of pine. It's the blade is probably could have been replaced, probably a fresher one, because it's kind of chipped everything out. Yeah, because it's chipped the pine out a little bit, but that could be cleaned up. But essentially, we do actually have a 12-inch radius sanding block. You see that? That very, very subtle curve. Not this side, not that side, this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do the top bit. And we are going. That is no. That's wrong. essentially success. I'm going to whack some sanding sealer on the bottom of these and just see how they clean up. So I suppose that will be the final video, just to see how they actually work. So till next time, catch you later.